Okay, so this topic has been super debatable. I mean, like, we are at each other's throats about this topic, and I think that both sides have some points. It's kind of like everybody wants to be right, but there's only one right answer, right? And neither one of us have that answer. Who am I referring to? I'm talking about Jameson Williams. He's on the thumbnail. He's in the title. And I don't want to make this whole show about Jameson Williams, but I have seen videos around the internet that Ben Johnson is not using Jameson Williams right. And I think that there is a little bit of an argument in that concept. And the reason I say that is because, are you going to throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown deep? You're not. That's not his game, right? So you're going to put St. Brown in a position that is comfortable for him, that you know he can make plays. I have not yet seen St. Brown catch a deep pass. You can count on Khalif Raymond. You can count on Josh Reynolds, but that's just not what St. Brown does, right? And we talked about it in the preseason and the offseason as training camp was coming up, that he wants to get deep more. But Ben Johnson apparently hasn't caught any of those plays. And if he has, then St. Brown hasn't been targeted, right? So why does that go to Jameson Williams? He's not using Jameson Williams right, okay? But that could be true. But I think we're putting blame on Ben Johnson when you have to realize that this is a game of trust and timing. This is a game that can come down to one play. And if you are called upon and you can't make a catch or you can't be trusted, you will not, your targets are going to get fewer and fewer and fewer, right? So Ben Johnson today said that a rapport needs to develop between Jameson Williams and Jared Goff, that it's going to take time. And time, ladies and gentlemen, is the one thing that none of us can get back and that Jameson Williams does not have. He does not have time. He has 27 games for the Detroit Lions to decide whether or not they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. Before you know it, we'll be in the playoffs. Before you know it, the Super Bowl will pass. And before you know it, the draft will be here in Detroit. And at that point, what are we going to be saying then? This is the National Football League. It's the place you don't have time in. You just don't. Now, I'm not saying his career is over. I'm not saying he can't turn it around. Look at Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. He balled out. Chase Young, another person. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. He has 5 sacks on the season in 5 or 6 games, right? So time is something. I don't make the rules. I don't set them. I just talk about them. And I was having a conversation about this with my fellas off air, and we were talking about that in the game, Ben Johnson needs to get Jameson Williams some reps. And that is true. But if you can't count on him in a situation to make the easiest catch, are you going to count on him when the game is on the line? If it's a 3rd and 11, are you going to throw well, it was a 3rd and 11. There's the best point. I forgot all about that. In the Tampa Bay game, it was a 3rd down and 11. And Jared Goff throws the worst pass I've seen him throw in a long time. And guess who caught it? Jameson Williams, right? That big playability. They trusted him. They went deep. He caught it. But a couple plays before that, he dropped it. Those are the plays that we want to keep seeing. All I'm saying is that we can't put it on Ben Johnson if you can't trust Jameson Williams, because the very next week he makes no catches. I don't remember. I have to go back and watch to see how many was in his vicinity, how many were catchable, how many. I know one hit him in the face. I know he couldn't find another one. I know in the end zone, he goes inside. Jared Goff throws out. That's 3 passes right there. Jameson Williams, the one thing he does not have is time. He's got 27 games to change the narrative that is following him around. And I swear, man, this guy right here, I would say Jared Goff is the most polarizing figure I've ever talked about on the internet when it comes to the Detroit Lions. Jameson Williams is a very close second. We want to believe in him. We want to see him do these things, but only he can do it. And if you cannot catch a pass that hits you in the hands in 10 yards, you're not going to get plays called to you. They took a chance on that 3rd down and 11. They took a chance and it paid off. It did. We've seen Jameson. The problem with J-Mo is consistency. That's the problem. But we act like we don't see it. We act like, oh, we just need to give him time. Okay, well, then that 27 games is going to turn to 26. Then it's going to turn into 17. And let me remind you that next year, next year is his year. Next year is the year that he gets to prove whether he's worth year 5 or not. Okay? That's all I'm saying about J-Mo. I know this about J-Mo, but Derek, remember how mad you were about the Ravens game? I'm starting to get that way about Brad Holmes. We don't trade. I'm going to be mad. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. J-Mo has like what, 3-4 games total. He needs no. Jameson Williams has 10. He has played 10 games. He's played 9. Do y'all not remember last year, or are we just not talking about last year? What are we doing? Jameson Williams has played 9 games. Also, he's had a full offseason, something he didn't have last year. Do y'all not remember about last season? Are we going to forget about last season? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here? I wish we would wait to the end of the season before starting over the React J-Mo. If you can't even get 500 by the end of the year, then we can have a discussion. That's not a bad point. Justin says he is 4 of 12 on balls thrown to him. How many QBs are throwing to a receiver who has a 33% catch rate? On top of that, Justin, he also, and some of them might not have been his fault. I'll say that. Some of them, Jared Goff threw some bad balls. Even the one he caught over his shoulder for the game-changing touchdown was a really, really bad ball. It was terrible. It wobbled all the way there, and he still made the catch. But he's had time, and he has to be able to be trusted. Jared Goff can trust St. Brown. You remember the time that we were talking about that St. Brown didn't have his first TD catch was our game-winning catch to walk off against the Minnesota Vikings 2 years ago. That was his first TD pass. And ever since then, St. Brown has been a mainstay, the game changer on this team. Everybody has their opinion. Everybody can do what they want to do. All right. I think it's too early to call him a bust. I am saying that he is trending bust because that's just the reality of the situation. He's trending bust. Whether it's his fault or not, that's just how the NFL works. But one thing we can't keep saying is that we're not using him right. He is supposed to be the best receiver we've ever seen, right? Like, seriously. We traded up to get this guy. We're not using him right. Okay, a couple end arounds. If he's thrown the football, it hits him in the hands, he's got to catch it. It hits him in the breadbasket, he's got to catch it. Have you ever thought about, wasn't Jameson Williams a punt returner in college? Didn't he punt? Didn't he return punt sometimes? I don't know, y'all. Yes, could Ben Johnson scheme up some more plays for him? Yes. But when you're a player, and this is another thing too. This is another thing, and we'll wrap up the segment with this point, right? We talk about, well, you're not using him right. This is the NFL. This is not college football. Everybody on this team is great, not great at what they do, but you get what I'm saying. More than half of college players probably don't make the team. I believe that Malik Willis, who's terrible, by the way, was the only person from Liberty drafted. He was taken in the 3rd round. You are playing guys who made the NFL. This isn't a college team where you have somebody going to be a doctor or a veterinarian. You have NFL players. All of these players are in the NFL. Okay? Sometimes it doesn't translate. I'm not saying it can't be like that for J-Mo. I'm just saying it seems as though we want to blame everybody but him when he shoulders some blame as well. Right? Jared Goff shoulders blame. Ben Johnson shoulders blame. But at the very end of the day, if you are an NFL player who catches balls, you need to catch balls. That's just the bottom line. If you are going to throw on a game-winning play, it's probably not going to go to Jameson Williams unless they got 4 people on St. Brown. Then you're going to be like, well, I guess I got to throw it to J-Mo, right? Which we've seen he can do it. But this topic, man, it's like it will divide Lions fans when at the end of the day, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It all depends on Jameson Williams and what we do. You can't scheme for somebody you can't trust. That's it. That's how that goes. So let me know what you think, man. Where you stand on J-Mo?